Hi everyone, I'm Aideen and welcome to Playful Pathways. Today I want to talk about resilience, which is our ability or our capacity to recover from difficult situations. It seems like resilience is a real buzzword among parents and educators these days, and today I want to give you my take on what resilience is and give you 4 steps, 4 things that you can do that will help you to strengthen your child's ability to withstand and recover from the trials and tribulations of life. Before I get stuck into that though, I want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and the extra resources and guides that you get for being part of the community. If you'd like to join them, then check out my Patreon page. Right, let's talk resilience. I think the easiest way to think about resilience is to look at it like an emotional immune system. And our emotional immune systems need to be looked after just the same way we look after our physical immune systems. People often talk about how resilient children are, and certainly children are wired for survival and they can get through just about any difficult experience. But that doesn't mean that they'll do so without emotional scars or lingering effects. Helping to build and nurture your child's resilience will prepare them for life's ups and downs so they can not just survive, but thrive. This means providing them with positive and healthy experiences and relationships and allowing their resilience to be strengthened through overcoming small challenges and difficulties. So let's break this down into 4 things that you can start doing today that will help to build your child's resilience. Step 1, cultivate strong, open, and loving relationships. Experiences of love, safety, security, and belonging really are the foundation for resilience, like eating good food to ensure a healthy physical immune system. For children especially, resilience is built through those close, attentive relationships with caregivers. When we experience difficult times, which is inevitable in life, we draw upon those experiences and those relationships to help us through. If I feel really good about myself, if I feel myself to be loved and valued and important, then it might make me less vulnerable to, for example, the nasty words and actions of the class bully. That bully's unkind words will hopefully be vastly outweighed by the number of positive things that I've heard and come to believe about myself through those loving relationships in my life. And when faced with those difficult experiences, I have people in my life that I can turn to offer me the comfort and reassurance I need to get through it. Step 2, talk about feelings. We all experience a range of emotions that influence our behavior, our choices, and our reactions. Helping children to understand their feelings is a really important part of helping them to stay in control and not be overwhelmed by them. I understand that it can be really hard for parents to hear their children talk about things that have upset them or to see their children displaying negative emotions. It can be very tempting to minimize or even dismiss your child's negative experiences by saying things like, "Oh, it wasn't that bad," or "Oh, it's over now, so let's just forget about it," or to try and fix the situation by distracting your child from their physical or emotional pain. And that's normal to want to help or rescue your child from their distress. But when we stop children from feeling or owning their feelings, or when we tell them that their feelings are not correct or valid or important, then we also stop them from understanding those feelings and learning how to deal with them. In this situation, we're not giving children the tools they need to manage difficult feelings when they come along. They're not getting to see that negative feelings or experiences are normal. They come and they go, and they don't have to overwhelm or immobilize us. When we haven't learned how to understand or express our feelings in healthy ways in childhood, we can grow into adults who don't know how to face or manage difficult feelings. So we bottle them up, or we indulge in things like food or alcohol or drugs as a way to distract or numb ourselves. So what I'm saying is make the most of opportunities to talk about feelings as they arise on a day-to-day basis. Give your child that vocabulary so that they can understand themselves and ask for help if or when they need it. Step 3, listen. One of the most significant things you can do to build your child's resilience is help them to feel listened to and understood. You might have had that experience where your little one falls and grazes their knee and they rush over to tell you about it. And you're trying to sort of just pick them back up again and say, you're okay, and on you go, and they're still crying and you're trying to tell them they're okay. And this situation can continue for a while because your child might be feeling that you're not really listening to them. You haven't understood. And your child will keep on communicating to you what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, until they feel that you have got it. Listening to your child and validating their experience isn't about highlighting their distress or pandering to it. It's about really tuning in, and through your attempts to understand them, make sense of their thoughts and their feelings, you'll be helping them to do the same. So when your child comes to you with their grazed knee, instead you might say something like, "Oh, you did fall over, didn't you? And you've bumped your knee. Ouch. It does look a bit sore, that one. Yeah, it is quite ouchy. Do you want to come and sit beside me until it's feeling better? Does it need a kiss?" Once that happens, they usually calm right down because you've helped them to make sense of the situation and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And that means that they can start to use the rational part of their brain to help them work out what they want to do next. Ultimately, you want to get to the point where your child doesn't need your help for every little bump and graze. They've had enough practice of recovering with your support that they can now do it for themselves. And as your child gets older again, if you have developed that loving relationship and helped them learn to understand their feelings, then it's much more likely they'll feel they can turn to you and ask for your help when the big stuff happens. When your child comes to you with that big stuff, don't rush in and try to smooth it over because it makes you uncomfortable or upset. Listen to them and take it seriously and empathize with them. You can say things like, "That sounds really hard," or "I can see how disappointed you are about that," or "that would have made me really angry too." Once they get to the part where they're working out what to do next, try not to offer advice or solutions straight away, even if they ask for it. Listen and support them while they work out what they want to do. By holding back and showing faith that they can solve this problem for themselves, you'll be really giving them some confidence in their own abilities and their independence. Step 4, make a plan for recovery. Allowing time for healing and recovery is just as important for your emotional immune system as it is for your physical one. In the case of the grazed knee, the recovery plan might involve a kiss and a cuddle, and it might only last for 20 seconds. But if your child is older and they're dealing with more significant emotional upset, then it might take longer and it might involve more comfort and interaction with you. In fact, in many ways, it might look pretty similar to a recovery plan for a physical illness. For example, if your child was recovering from tonsillitis, you might offer them extra cuddles and affection. You might make special comforting food for them. You might certainly reduce the commitments in the calendar and give them more time to just be at home. Now, the recovery period for an emotional upset can be really varied in length. It might only last an hour or a day if it's just a little thing. Or if it's a more serious upset, a more serious situation, then it could last for a week or a month or possibly even longer. However, it's important to remember that if you try to force your child to bounce back from their difficult experience or just get over it before they're ready, then it's possibly going to take longer for them to recover in the long run. So that's my take on resilience. I really hope that you found it useful. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see other videos that I've made, which include subjects like how to build a better bond with your child and how to set healthy boundaries, then make sure you press subscribe and have a look at the other videos on my channel. And if you'd like to support Playful Pathways, then check out our Patreon page where you can become part of the Playful Pathways community and gain access to additional resources and guides. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.